Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Mac Merlin build stream. Let's see who is online tonight. I see a Zark, Oshika, Kawaii Voldemort, Happy Tailwag, Cool Pajamas, Jamulligan, and Nismo. Thanks, guys, for joining in, and Big Walruses as well. Great. And Whaler. Hello, guys. Hello, and thanks for joining. Yeah, tonight, as you guys can see from the stream title, we are building a customer's Think 6.5 V2. But the difference with this one and the other Think 6.5s that I'll be building is that it's using Millmax sockets. Let's see. If you guys don't know what Millmax sockets are, it's these guys right here. Like so. So yeah, if you've never heard of them before, they are a way to make your soldered PCB hot swap. Of course, in order to do that, you need to solder these on. So I've already pre-soldered all of them. Tonight, there will be no soldering. There'll just be assembling of the keyboard. So yeah, let's see. Who's here? Clone, Lil Tunchi. Excited to see how this build turns out. Me too. I generally don't recommend Millmaxing for boards that don't have a separate USB-C daughter board, because it tends to lower the PCB by a lot. So we'll see how this turns out. It's what the customer requested, so fingers crossed that it turns out all right. Speaking of what the customer wants, the customer sent me Mauve switches, which he has lubed himself. Feels pretty good. Sounds pretty good too. So let's see how this one turns out. Oh yeah, for tonight's drinking the last of my Locust cider. Looks like I will have to grab a new one after this stream. Let's see, Nasty Johnny says, thought we were in for a long stream. Well, it could be long, you just never know. Like build streams, things could go wrong, right? Things could go wrong, but hopefully none of that happens tonight. So yeah, let me show you guys what I've done here. There's the PCB right there. It's using Durock V2s that I've lubed with 205G zeros. And yeah, we'll be putting Mauve switches on. Customer was fortunate enough to get the FR4 plate that didn't have problems. If you guys caught my build, my own personal build, I had to use different switches because they were so freaking tight. I ended up using Glacier Pandas, which are a fully palm switch. I think the slippery palm nature of it helped it fit in, but the customer's FR4 plate was not an issue at all. So yeah, let's go turn on some tunes here. Let me take a sip of my cider before we start. Emily says, first build stream. Well, welcome to the build stream. Normally I do build streams on Saturday, but if you guys remember, on Saturday last week I was sick, so this is kind of just the kind of doing the build stream for the week. But I will be building another Think 6.5 this coming Saturday. So yeah, lots of things this week. Lots of things. And yeah, let's go take a look at the customer's keyboard right here. This is an E-White unit with the 2U layout. So kind of like the 660 that I have in front of me, where there's a big old blocker right there. But still retains the 65% form factor. See that? It still has the 60% blocker, or the 65% blocker right there. Kinda looks similar to the 660. But yeah, here we go. Let's put everything together here. All I need is that. I can put this guy back in. Show you guys the back really quick. Isn't that really pretty? It's an all-white board. All-white board. Lil Chunchi says, clean, I know. Very clean. I still like mine better. Well, I like my colors better, but after seeing this customer's 2U unit, I was like, I really wish I would have gotten the 2U instead of the standard 1U that all 65s come with. There we go. The Think 6.5 has perhaps one of the coolest looking plates I've seen through all my builds. Very nicely done FR4. If you guys don't know what FR4 is, FR4 is the same material that PCBs are made of. And if you're wondering if there is an FR1, 2, 3, yes there is. Yes, there is. What the difference is, I don't quite know. Best switch for FR4? I don't know. For me, what worked for me was the Glacier Pandas. What works for you might be completely different. When is Gold Rush going to go into GB? Once I can get some solid communication with Project Keyboard, we seem to be missing each other quite a lot. But I do have other projects in the works. Alright, let's see how well this Millmaxing works. Because, to be honest, I'm not too confident that it's gonna work too well, but, you know, one can hope. One can hope. So just gotta make sure all these legs are nice and straight. Once we do that, yep, there we go. One in. Merlin R2, yeah, perhaps one of these days. Akip says JWK linears and FR4 is a popular combo. Oh, really? What about JWK makes it a popular combo? Because JWK is, you know, JWK is the manufacturer. It's like saying, oh, cherry and aluminum, right? And in fact, these are JWK switches. These are Mauves. The recolor, what do you mean by that? The sounds say that a lot of JWK switches produce with FR4. Like, once again, that doesn't really say very much, just because JWK has different materials, right? You've got the polycarb top, nylon bottom, you've got the nylon top, nylon bottom, you've got, what? You've got the OA switches, which is, I think, a UHMWPE bottom with the polycarb top, so, you know, it's all different. It's all different. Thoughts on carbon fiber plates? I like them. I think they sound really thocky once you put them in like a tray mount case with tactile boards. You end up getting a really thocky feel. The recolors is what makes JWK a popular choice. Yeah, I could see that. People like colors. Alright, I'm gonna have to use my tweezers here to make sure that all of these legs are completely straight. Aha! Of course, as soon as I said that, I think I might have bent this one. Yep, this one got bent. Any Resident Evil gamers? Village goes live tonight. No, I'm not one, but something kinda in the same genre. I've been playing 7 Days to Die with a bunch of my coworkers. So this plate is one of the fixed ones? Yes, this plate is the fixed one. Yeah, I unfortunately did not get a fixed plate. My own personal unit still uses the really tight one. But, you know, I'm still happy with the switches that I put on. No big deal. No big deal there. Has anyone tried Gazu Otemu silent linear stamps? I did not know that he had them. It's good news. I'd like to try them out someday. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to put switches in corners so that I can keep the plate on properly. Because, you know, people say, oh yeah, once you Millmax stuff, it becomes easy. I'd say no. I'd say it's a little harder to put switches in compared to regular hot swap. Your chances of bending legs is a lot higher. But at the same time, you don't have a chance of popping off the hot swap. So overall, it's a benefit, I'd say. Yes, pink silent linear switches, don't remember the name. Yeah. Yeah, the customer did say he's kind of busy tonight, so he may not be able to join the stream. But he said, if anything, I'll show up later. I'm like, yeah, sure. Show up whenever. No problems. Depending on how late he shows up, though, I might already be done. Which Think 6.5 blocker do you prefer? So I bought the 1U, right? But after seeing the 2U, I greatly wish I would have gone for the 2U. How's that plate? This plate is fine, actually. This plate is one of the fixed plates. The difficulty that I'm having is actually putting these legs through the hot swaps. Yeah, Gazoo usually sells switches in their base components, I'd say. 2U, much better luck. Absolutely agree with you there, which is part of my regret. Iowa still doesn't have his thing. Dang, man. Yeah, I know, it's taken a while to get stuff shipped out to customers. If the sockets were aligned with switch pins during soldering, switches should go in easily. I would argue not all the time. See, its store says I don't have mine either. Well, think about it this way. If you're getting yours late, you're getting the ones with the fixed plate. That is the silver lining. Because I was probably like, I got mine that on like the second week that they were shipping, and I got one of the messed up plates. Did you get an LE? It seems pretty long since so many others. An LE. I don't know what you mean by that. The fixed plates have been in effect since March. Yeah. How do Millmax sockets work? How do you attach them? You basically solder them on as if you were soldering a switch. It's store. I'm just trying to make you feel better, man. If you wanna, you know, if you wanna look at the bad side of things, sure. You can feel it already, like the foam is starting to fight against the hot swap nature. I can't seem to remember, did this board come in hot swap? Yeah, if you don't have patience for this hobby, it's gonna be a very rough time for you. Like the two things that you need in this hobby, patience and time, or patience and money, I mean. Are they super tiny? Here. This is an example. These are a bunch of hot swap sockets. They're basically a little longer, a little fatter than your typical switch leg. So yeah, not super tiny, but you know. Yeah, it is no wonder why a large majority of the hobby is concentrated in California, and a lot of people who are in the hobby also work for tech. Would you recommend Mauve Blacks or Durock T1s trying to enter the tactile game? I've heard a lot of good stuff about Durock T1s, not so much about Mauve Blacks, and I'm also not a tactile user, so probably not the best person to ask about that. Dawn says, "Kumusta Merlin?" Kumusta to you too. Mauve Blacks are very clacky. I have not heard that, actually. I have not heard them being clacky, but then again, I don't hear too many people talk about them. Not a very popular switch. Yeah, like the Durock T1's definitely very popular. They're a very good alternative to Zelios. Cheaper, and many people claim better. Mauve Blacks are pretty loud, yeah. It's the clack that makes them loud. If they weren't so clacky, they wouldn't be that loud. Oh, that sounds really good. Good job on the lubing, Glendale. Glendale says thanks. It's hard to beat FR4 plus JWK. That's what people are saying. That's assuming, of course, you have an FR4 plate that works, right? Unlike what happened to mine. Well, I am happy with how my build turned out, you know? Like, I'm not sure if... Like, I use palm switches, right? So, I don't normally use palm switches, so I was honestly a little bit concerned that like, it would suck. But no, it actually turned out pretty well. I'm glad I went that route. How do people get FR4 plate cut for them? Well, you typically look for someone, look for a company that cuts FR4. Usually it's also a PCB company, and you just have them cut it. There we go. Alright, looks like we got all the switches in. I am not going to bother taking off the caps, just because, you know, I'll be putting them back on anyway. But let us test out the board. Let's make sure everything works here. Like, I tested it before the stream, but you know, things could have gone wrong during the insertion cycle. So let me grab a USB-C cord. And Glendale, so I have it set where your backlights turn. I mean, your underglow doesn't light up, but the side ones do. So hopefully that is what you were wanting. And we are just going to test this out. Go key tester, matrix mode. Hold on. Let's actually configure this properly. I made a few changes. I did the 2U layout. There we go. That's the way you want it. Matrix mode. There we go. Ta-da! Works out just fine, just the way I like it. All right. It's time to put it in your case, man. It is time to put it in your beautiful case. Glendale says, I'm excited. Hopefully you're as excited about this as me peeling a 7V weight. Hopefully it fits with the Millmax. Yeah, that's actually my biggest concern right now, but you know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's take this guy out first. Peelgasm is unmatched. I know that that unboxing stream turned out to be pretty popular for some strange reason. Maybe I should just fully convert to an ASMR stream. That is tight. Do it, I'll leave my wife. Whoa, whoa, dude. All right. Here it comes. Let's see. Have all the screws out? Yes, I do. Have all the screws out. Out it comes. Oh yeah, I can't just put it in because I still have to put the gaskets in. That's what I'm forgetting. That's what I'm forgetting. I'd pay good money for high quality peels. I can peel acrylic, I can peel weights, I can peel... I don't know, man. Just peel a lot of stuff. Alright, that's your spare PCB right there. Your tools. Tools of think 6.5. You clipped the peelgasm. Yeah, I saw that. Well, if you go to my latest YouTube, I actually there we go. That's what I need. There we go. That's the feet right there. Right. If you go to my latest YouTube video, I like have it timestamped as well, and I edited it so while I'm peeling it, the camera is zooming in. The camera is zooming in for your viewing pleasure. Nice of them to include extra tweezers. I'm gonna start by putting your feet on first here. Feet, feet, feet. Peel section. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think this one is as sensual because it's such a short piece, right? It's such a short piece. There's not really much you can do with it. That fast peel. Look, they give you an extra foot right there. That extra foot. There we go. Okay. We got the feet there. Now we got to do the gaskets. Oh, I keep mentioning this, but ever since I did the Jelly Epoch, I feel like their gasket installation process is just so much more refined than all of this. I'm watching the peel off YouTube now. So much worth. Oh man. Owlab is on another level. Yeah, Owlab, I feel like they kind of just appeared out of nowhere and was like, hey, we're gonna have high quality boards in stock for affordable prices. And it's like, what? What in the world? Yeah, good on them. Good on them for getting all that taken care of. I think about it though, like the Jelly Epoch cost $300. Let's assume they're making a 50% profit. Let me put this down somewhere. 50% profit. So what? 150 bucks, right? 150 bucks times, there was 300 units, if I'm not mistaken. That's still like 45K that they had to put down of their own money, right? Just to get stuff working. Why won't this guy peel? There it is. You don't like how any of their boards look? Well, they're not for everyone. Canon keys, Savage series all in stock. Ooh, really? Okay, my thing about the Savage series, or I guess it's the Brutal series, right? Is that USB-C hole is just ugly. Ugly as hell. Not a fan of how it looks. The Jelly didn't have that tab on the left. It's removable, honestly. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I can see people being upset about it, but... Here. I really hate peeling these gaskets, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably like the only reason why I have not gotten in on the Brutal series. Like the board as a whole looks good, but that USB-C port just doesn't do it for me. That's actually one of the reasons why I sold my Satisfaction. Right, the Satisfaction had that same hole. Yeah, for me, like if a car has a head gasket issue or a transmission issue, it's time to get a new car. Let's see, any upcoming keyboard you're looking forward to? No, I'm not. I still have a bunch of boards to build on my own. I'm not looking to buy any more boards. I'm still waiting on a few as well, so I'm just like, yeah, no more boards for me until I can get more things done and out of the way. There's only so much I can fit in this little second bedroom here. Yeah, I may have to get rid of a few soon. Maybe I'll do like a summer sale of sorts. Are you getting Bakaneko? Yes, I am. I'm actually being sent a review unit, so we'll see. We'll see how I like it. Do I have any recommendation of getting a stripped screw out? I have a small hex screw that is stripped on an acrylic board. I usually just go on YouTube and I Google for that, or I YouTube that, and usually there's like a bunch of like home repair YouTube channels which show exactly how to do that. I'm assuming it would be applicable to acrylic as well. What is my favorite board that I own? I think right now it might be the Jelly. Right now it might be the Jelly. Don't you have a 7V? Yes, I do. I have a 7V. But if you know about the 7V because you watched the stream, you should also know that I don't have it built. I've just had it unboxed. Just because I have a board doesn't mean it's built. Shouldn't that be your favorite board? Well, it might. It might not. You know? I won't, honestly, I really won't know until it's built. I have more boards built, unbuilt than built. Yeah, I'm of that same boat. I am of that same boat. Can you replace the daughter board? Of what? This? There is no daughter board for the Think. Nor is there a daughter board for this guy right here. Busy Timmy says hello and good day. Hello and good day to you too. Okay. Well, yeah, this is definitely not one of my better gasket jobs. I feel like these pour-on gaskets, if you try your best to stretch them so they fit completely aligned, you end up making them really long. So it's like, annoying. Annoying as hell. Upgrade the daughter board on the 7V. Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. You just have to grab the right ones, right? Heine has some. No, Heine has his own. Like, the daughter board that I would want is specifically the C3 by IO3. The C3 Unified Daughter Board Standard. Like, even though their footprint is the same, the Heine, the Wilbur, the Unified one, only the Unified, the version C3 has all the features that I want. All right, we got it. We got it. Here goes. All right, Glendale, let's see if your USB-C port actually goes in fine. Hey, it fits. It fits just fine. All right, let's see what happens once we actually screw it in together. But for now, just placing your PCB on seems to work well. Discriminate wants to see the 7V get built, so do I. Just don't know when it will... Don't know when I'll have time to do it. No, I feel like maybe I should like contract other streamers to build it for me. But then for a board like that, I want to build it myself. But yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Maybe I'll find someone local to do it. Let's see, the closest streamer to me, I think, is streamers... Oh, no, yeah, I think I have a few people in mind. I have a few people in mind who could probably do it for me. Crosswind says, did you hear back anything about the PCB foam on that? On this? I'm not aware of anything with the PCB foam on this. I'm using the foam that was sent with the board. Oh, on the 7V? Oh, yes, I did. Gawk actually messaged me. The foam is meant to stretch, so while it's not ideal that it shrank that much, the fix is to just stretch it. Did I build the Phantom? No, I did not. As I said, I don't have time to build a lot of my boards these days. Can you swap the blocker on this board? If you do you have to buy a new plate? It is a new PCB as well. You can't just swap out the blocker. Having something, yeah, it's like at this rate, like I typically do 4 build streams a month. I could probably go almost 2 months of just my own builds. What are your thoughts on progressive springs? Recently found out about them. Oh, I like them. It's not like they're the end all be all. I like 72G progressives, so that's actually like the spring that won me over to using linear. What other boards do I have on build? Quite a few actually. See, the Phantom, the 7V. I have this private project from Elmo. I've got another Alps board. I've got, let's see, I've got another 75. I've got this TKL. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of unbuilt stuff here. You know, it's funny, if you guys joined my fire sale last year, in fact, I just ended up selling some of the boards that were unbuilt. Yeah, private project from, yeah, it is. It was one of his Apple projects that he did. He sent me one of the extra PCBs. Merlin can probably buy a house. Maybe. There are only a few boards here that I think are worth a lot. Oh, there we go. There it is. Let's go put some keycaps on. What's the oldest in your possession? The oldest, longest in your possession unbuilt board. Oh, Alright, this one I don't plan on ever building. I just kind of had it for a while. It was the Liku full-size board. I had planned to put it in like into like a Cherry MX, into this Cherry MX. Sorry, not Cherry MX. A Cherry G80. I forget the number, but it was their full-size ones. But then over time, I was just like, nah, I don't have time for this. Down payment for house. Listen up, phones. Actually, okay. So you joke about that, but that's kind of what I did about my cat, right? So the reason why I even bought this cat was as a joke. Like I was looking through like shelters, I was contacting breeders, could not find a cat, you know? This was like at the start of this entire pandemic. So then as a joke, I posted on the Seattle Mechanical Keyboard Discord. I was like, hey, have boards, want cat. And people laugh, you know, like, and then like an hour or two later, I get messaged by this guy saying, hey, Merlin, I'm actually a cat breeder and I'm here in Washington, blah, 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 blah. And like, you know, a couple months later, I have sushi. A couple months later, I have sushi. So yeah, it's funny because we went there, because I went down there and we talked about keyboards, of course. And then we talked keyboards and cats. Do these ABS casts have warp on the long keys? Nope. Not that I was able to find. Which is very good for the fact that they're $69, right? Like, these days, even GMK has warpage. ePBT, but ABS. Yeah, this is a perfect example of like thinking that, oh yeah, I'm gonna name my company one thing because I'm exclusively gonna make that. And then you're like, wait, I can make money elsewhere. It's like a completely different product. Right? There we go. See? It's kind of like a 660 layout. And you know what? I completely forgot this guy. Let me do that again. It was right there next to me too, and I still forgot it. Oh well. It's okay, can leave it out. Really? You want me to leave it out? This adds dampening though. It adds, are you sure you want me to leave it out? Well, Glendale gets to decide because he's paying for this board. My go-to is usually plate foam, but no case foam. Okay. I shall put the screws back in then. Alright, we'll go do a typing test. Alright, well here we go. Very beautiful board. Let's see, how does that feel? Oh, I feel that flex. I built a whole keyboard. I'm still lubing 45 switches. No worries, man. No, lubing takes forever. Ooh, I like that. You know, I kind of think this sounds better than the Delta Blade. RTX. Oh no, my crisp is on. Good point. Let me turn off my crisp so you guys can hear it. Here we go. Yeah, I like how this types better. Okay, now I want to compare it to mine. Go compare it to my think. But here, before I compare it to my think, let's do an actual typing test. Sounds good. Yes, it does. And look, Glendale, see? This is with the hot top sockets. That USB-C port still lines up perfectly. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? So yeah, my concerns were not valid. Go. Nice little light up right there. Alright, let's pause the music really quick here. Pause, pause, pause. Let's do a typing test. Yeah, this actually looks really good. Alright, here goes. Typing test. Alright, yeah, that does sound really good. Let me compare it to mine. So mine's built with palm switches. Let's see if I can find mine. Here we go, here's mine. So this is mine with the 1U layout, GMK Godspeed. Palm switches. It's the Glacier Pandas. I feel like my board pops a little bit more. There's more of that poppy sound. Yeah, come this Saturday, we'll have 3 thinks here. In fact, the other think is still in its box. JWK higher pitched, yeah, for sure. They both like clack in a sense. There, let's just show off the two boards. So the difference between Glendale and my board is that he's got the 2U layout, which I personally think is the superior looking one. And I regret greatly that I went for the 1U, but you know, oh well. But I do have to say that in terms of color, I think the ocean colorway, having this in blue, ended up making it look better. See that? Yeah, I think the 1U looks good too. I just think the 2U looks better. Did I use up? No, I did not actually. You love your 2U deep ocean? Yeah, I think. See, so looking at my USB port, my USB port definitely looks more centered, whereas yours, it is very, ever so slightly shifted downwards just by a very tiny bit. So yeah, good thing that hole is large enough. Yeah, mine's dead center. Yours is just a little bit lower than mine, which is what is to be expected. Yeah, there it is. Those are the two boards. As long as it still fits, it's fine. Yep, no worries there. It makes me think that maybe I should have done Millmaxing on this too, but who knows. I plan on Millmaxing my M7V, perhaps with the new ones as well. The, whatever you call them, the 5504, 3304 or something. 3305, there it is, there it is. Nice, happy with it, thank you for building it. Yeah, looks really good too. I like it. Out of curiosity, what key set are you using to match this guy? Like what I have here is the teal key set, but what are you putting on? Cat Eternal, maybe. Ah, okay, very nice. Very nice. Okay. Well, it is 9:15 here in the Pacific Northwest. We'll conclude this stream with another typing sounds. All right, let me put away my think. Yeah, it's funny because this Saturday I'll be building another one. So I really get to compare how they all sound. There we go, okay. Okay, yeah, this is the thing with VIA. Sometimes boards don't turn on right away. Alright, here we go, here we go. Last typing test of the evening. There we go. Yeah, okay. Guys, I built a Think 6.5 V2 for a customer tonight. This has got the Millmax sockets on them and featuring customer lubed Mauve switches, topped with ePBT ABS Teal. So yeah, expect this to show up on YouTube hopefully by Saturday. But yeah, thanks guys for joining in. My next stream will be this Saturday as well, building another Think 6.5. Just because I do have a keycap shortage, I'll probably most likely put this key set on it as well, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thanks guys for joining in, and I'll catch you all this Saturday. Goodbye, everyone.